That option is not coming. If I do right click, it comes, but it is not coming.
Do control V.
Yes. What are we teaching, Pratik?
Still not coming.
So
We will
you
discuss
first
it later. We will discuss it later.
copy it. Do control C, copy it and control C.
Okay, what are we teaching,
Select
Pratik?
it and control C.
Fine.
Okay, I think Canada cannot stop sharing her screen. Yes, Canada, how about you show us your video? Everybody, switch on your video.
Ma'am, can I show you a video?
No. Not video. You already showed so many videos.
Ma'am, did you put lipstick and come?
Okay. How about we resume? Yes, I very clearly remember we stopped at Great Britain. Okay? Yes. What do you think? We casted a vote with Great Britain. Great Britain is still on break, munching. All right, no problem. We'll move on to the next. Let us see which country do we have. Oh, Italy. Mostly Venice. Go ahead. UAE, come on. Show your video. Everybody. India. India. Stop putting that in your mouth, India. Come on, rename yourself, India.
Ma'am, I just did. What happened?
Do it again, no problem. And let us all mute ourselves except for Italy. Okay? UAE, smart you're looking. Why would you switch off your video? Looking such a smart boy today. Hair full gel and all.
How do I share my screen?
UAE is handsome.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, Italy, before you start, kindly mute yourselves. I'll mute myself as well. Yes? Everybody, India, mute yourself.
And it's not India, it's United States.
And my Hamza is
Ma'am,
India.
I can't hear anything. Who said this?
Italy, you did not share computer sound. Please stop sharing and
It's
do it
not
again. America, mute yourself.
I'm doing my slideshow first.
Whatever. I don't know the format that you've prepared in. Go ahead.
Okay. Welcome to the UN meeting where we all share the crises our countries are facing as well as the solutions. I am the ambassador of Italy and I would like to share a few words about the crisis we are facing. Let's move on. So the main crisis we are facing is the floods. Basically, the flooding is primarily caused when seawater is vertically pushed from the Adriatic Sea into the Venetian.
Just a minute. I'm very sorry for this, but even I can't hear you clearly. Can you be a little louder? Yes, just a little louder.
Ma'am, in her screen there is a scribble.
Okay. Let us not annotate, children.
Ma'am, there is no scribble.
I can't see any annotation even. Okay.
It's not a
okay.
scribble, it's a design of her.
Speak
Alright.
in your speaker.
Fine. Now I want, this is for the final time, everybody mute yourself except for Italy. Italy, stop sharing. Stop screen share, Italy. Okay. Fine. Fold your hands, all of you. Come on. I don't know. I don't believe I'm telling this as a UN General Secretary. All the countries, fold your hands. Come on. All right. Italy, start over again a bit louder. Yes?
Okay.
We really want to put your presentation across to the other countries present here. Okay? Go ahead.
Hello and welcome to the UN meeting where we share our the crises we are all facing, as well as the solutions. I am the ambassador of Italy, and I would like to share a few words about the crisis we are facing. So the main crisis we are facing is the floods. The flooding is primarily caused when seawater is vertically pushed from the Adriatic Sea into the Venetian lagoon due to strong winds during a storm. Due to the floods, Venice, a famed city, is sinking. Venice is actually built on a lagoon, so that the bandits can't get away. And this is a picture of Venice flooding. So I also have a solution. There's already a natural barrier, but it has gaps over here. So we will fill in those gaps using artificial barriers, creating a connected one to block the water. The residents of this narrow strip of land will be asked to rehabilitate. Any questions?
Okay, you can stop sharing the screen.
What if tsunami comes?
Thank you.
What if the Italy sings holy full?
Okay, I think.
I agree with Mohammed.
Okay, one minute. I think Brazil and America, for that matter, did not clearly understand the presentation.
This
Yes.
not tsunamis.
Thank you, Turkey.
Not about tsunamis.
And we
the
are
barrier
we
won't
are
be
not
like
entertaining any what if questions in this session. Okay, let us be realistic.
About the crisis, no?
Extremely realistic. So the problem, Italy, I have a question for you. Sum up your problem in one sentence.
there's lots of flooding in Venice. It's basically just we're just focused on Venice because like it's basically Italy's problem because Venice is part of Italy.
Correct. So we definitely have floods in Venice. Is it annual every year?
Yes,
This
every
problem
single
has
year
been occurring from past how many years?
since Venice was built.
Okay, since Venice was built. All right. And what proposed solution do you have for this problem?
There's the nearest strip of land. It's like already a natural barrier, but it has gaps, so we can fill in those gaps using artificial ones. Okay, and so it will kind of stop the water from coming inside the
Okay, and the
area.
I have a question.
the major reason for flooding is the seawater coming in.
Yes.
Okay, so
And
the
the
water is coming
storms.
from sea, not any river. All right. So what? Italy says that we can fill up there is already a natural barrier. We can fill up, but it has gaps. So we can fill it up with the artificial one, like make a land or so that it acts like a barrier. Go ahead.
I have a question.
Go ahead. We'll Russia speak first. We'll let Russia speak first.
How big is Venice? How big is
We
Venice?
will let Russia speak first. Canada, you need to wait for your chance, child.
Ma'am, it will cost a lot to build a barrier.
Okay, what about the costing, Italy? Have you thought of it?
Well, also if Italy doesn't have enough to make the barriers, then the other countries can cooperate and donate some money.
Italy has come up with a persuasion already. Like Italy is like, what if it is okay if I don't have money. You are my friends. You're gonna help me. All
What
right.
if the corporation doesn't contributes to you? Then what will you do without the money?
No,
All
what
right.
if question? No, what
Not
if
everyone can. Not everyone can contribute, and that much money.
Okay. One of the observers says that's why she has come to the UN. That's the whole purpose of her coming to the UN. All right. That's very smart and intelligent. Canada, go ahead.
Ma'am, but what if no?
Ma'am, how big is a fence that you don't let the water come in?
How big is the
Fence.
barrier?
We just have to fill in a few gaps. And
Yes.
the rest is
How
already
big
made.
would it be?
How
How
the
big would it
fence
be
fence?
for the seawater to not let it in?
Oh,
And Great Britain, okay, Italy will answer that question and we are coming over to Great Britain.
so the barrier can be like taller than since the sea level can kind of rise, it'll be like people will estimate how much it could rise up to, and they will but also because of global warming, the water could evaporate, so it might not get the sea level might not come up that much.
But also because of global warming, the sea levels are rising. That's a fact. It has become a fact, in fact.
Then we'll make it taller than average barriers.
Ma'am, okay, why
Will
can't we
it be
just?
enough and strong?
Great Britain, Great Britain. We
Why
like
can't you just? Why can't you just build a wall up there? So then the water won't come.
That's what we're doing. We're making a barrier.
But you can just but it will cost a lot, so you can just take some stones and build it with bricks. I'll put all the sand and everything.
It's seawater, child. We want it to be sturdy. Whatever barrier we are building, it will be a wall, preferably. Yes, Italy? I don't know. Tell me.
I didn't understand the question.
She's suggesting. Great Britain, go ahead.
So I have a question that from what will you build the barrier?
Oh, I also have a video about like I saw a video about how the Netherlands
Is
stopped
this
the
life on land related?
Yes.
yes.
Flooding definitely is. Okay.
So
Go ahead.
I watched a video about the Netherlands, and I'm going to show it.
Go ahead.
Can I say one thing?
Okay, before we start with the video, Turkey, go ahead.
Yeah, ma'am. What if no company is cooperating, like the building companies, or they are not cooperating to make it in the water because it's not that much safe to do it? She is a UN ambassador.
No.
So they will.
1 minute. Why wouldn't it be safe to build things on water?
Ma'am, because the water level rises and the floods come in a very
Turkey, but right now, if I want to come to your house, I'll have to cross the Vashi Bridge.
Ma'am, you have the bridges, ma'am. It is made from first only. And ma'am, the water dam is not
in water. We have
no,
this.
ma'am.
What are you talking?
Ma'am, but the water down is not that. The Vashi water is not that much. Like it doesn't go very fast.
How about the ceiling? Arabian Sea, Bandra Worldly ceiling in Mumbai.
Okay, ma'am, they cooperated. They wanted to make it, but if her company, her place's company does not want to do it,
So there are, yes, Italy, go ahead. Answer. I don't want to seem like a person who's supporting you, advocating. Anyway, yes, I have to be neutral. I have an answer, but I'm going to be neutral. I'll let you answer that. Come on.
I didn't completely understand
What if
it.
companies in Italy, what if the construction companies in Italy do not cooperate?
I can try to persuade them and tell them how severe this situation is, and they might donate because
Okay.
people care for other people nowadays.
Okay, there she is. All right. I have a question for you, Italy. How
Yes.
severe, you said, I'll persuade them as to how severe the problem is. Tell me how severe the problem is. I want to know.
Because of the flooding, Venice is actually like close to sinking down. It's actually built on a lagoon, and a marshy area, so it can sink completely below the lagoon.
So so with Venice can be Atlantis 2.0 then, if we don't.
I didn't understand that answer.
Okay. Venice every year is undergoing flooding. All right. Every year the water from the sea comes in Venice and it floods. Now,
Why, ma'am?
it's on happening because it is built on a lagoon, a marshy land. Okay, the land is not very sturdy.
It's a floating city.
It's not happening every year. There are chances that Venice might submerge. It might go under the sea. Okay, just like
I
Atlantis.
agree with Russia because the whole city is drowning and people are also drowning, and some like a family member can drown, like a child, so the parents will be really like depressed. So that's why I agree with Russia, and Great Britain will give money to Russia.
Okay, so Great Britain, Italy, you've already got a friend in Great Britain, and that's
Ma'am,
great.
I will also cooperate and help.
Yeah,
I will also help.
perfect.
Sorry, I can't. Australia also needs money.
Oh my God, Australia, aren't you being a miser there now?
Ma'am, Turkey is not does not have any financial problems, so we can donate a lot. Yes.
Oh my God, Turkey is being a conjuice now. Okay, come on. Yes, Ethiopia, I think you need more. But go ahead. I would love the power. I would love your will of help.
Ma'am, I was telling that ma'am, I will not help because
facing problems because of bushfire, and I'll donate money.
Australia, we have Ethiopia talking. Let us not do that. Yes.
ma'am, if Venice drowned, so it will be more populous than Atlantis, and it will have a monument also.
And ma'am, it would be real also.
All right. Oh my.
But people can't survive underwater. How are they gonna live
Ruthless
there?
world leaders. Anyway, we'll stop it now. Everybody mute yourself. Go ahead, Italy. Show us the video.
Ma'am, after Rushda's video, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Ma'am, no one has took Iran.
No, I don't think anybody took Iran.
This is an ad.
Russia, share computer audio.
Skip ad.
Share computer audio.
Sir, do share computer audio, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stop share.
Can everyone mute themselves?
Please, everybody, please mute yourselves.
But how could such a small wonders? They are the largest system of flood defenses in the world, and they are currently being used as a template for many countries on how they should defend themselves against rising sea levels. But how could such a small country construct one of the most advanced flood defenses? To answer this, let's take a look at its history. The Dutch had been building dams and dikes and other flood defenses for millennia. In fact, the first settlers of the Netherlands. The Delta works are one of the 7 modern wonders. They are the largest system of flood.
Even for me.
Rujda, do the screen big.
I think it's fine. The video is clear even if it is not on full screen. Yes, we can adjust with that. The problem with going full screen is it gets more pixelated and it lags. The video lags. Okay, so that's completely fine. Rujda, we can also hear the audio very clearly. So go ahead.
Flood defenses in the world. And they are currently being used as a template for many countries on how they should defend themselves against rising sea levels. But how could such a small country construct one of the most advanced flood defenses? To answer this, let's take a look at its history. The Dutch had been building dams and dikes and other flood defenses for millennia. In fact, the first settlers of the Netherlands built their settlements on hills because of the frequent floods. After all, they are called the Low Countries. And the first dams, dikes and dunes created by the Dutch were built in the 8th century. But as the Netherlands grew richer and more populous, the flood defenses were improved. In the 1930s, the Netherlands constructed the longest dam in the world, the Afsluitdijk, to protect the central region of the Netherlands against floods. You can watch my video on that after this one by clicking on the link at the end of the video. Now the project was completed. The Dutch government started looking into plans to dam off the country as well, here in Zeeland, which is the Zeeland that weren't able to make significant progress because the Netherlands was busy being invaded by Germany. And after the war, the Dutch government prioritized rebuilding the old rather than building the new. But then, everything changed when the North Sea attacked. In the night from the 31st of January to the 1st of February, exactly 67 years ago, in 1953, a storm hit the Netherlands with a ferocity rarely seen in this part of the world. Because it was the 50s in Europe, many radio stations, weather stations and emergency offices weren't staffed at night. So when the warning was sent out that evening of an incoming flood, there was nobody there to listen to it, until they heard the water rushing through their streets, dragging away houses, cattle and people. While this area was protected by dikes, they simply weren't strong enough to withstand a storm of this magnitude. They were designed for the smaller regular floods often occurring in the Netherlands. But this storm broke the coastal defenses in 67 locations, with holes up to 3.5 kilometers wide. In total, 1,836 people died in the Netherlands, 70,000 people became homeless, and 200,000 farm animals were killed. A news broadcast the next morning proclaimed, "The sea needed just a single night to prove how powerless humanity is." 20 days after the flood, the Dutch government created a team of experts tasked with looking into ways of tackling the problem.
Pause the video.
Pause the video. Okay. Now what you do is, we saw there was a massive flood for which the Netherlands were not prepared. All right. Now directly go to the solution in the video.
Okay.
Before you share the screen, go to the solution from where the solution is starting in the video, and we'll see what solution did they come up with? How did they prevent?
Ma'am, when did the first flood happen in Italy? When?
She's saying as soon as from the time they've built Venice, they've been experiencing this problem.
I didn't understand.
From the time Venice was built as a city,
for business leaders and for business managers.
they have been facing problems with flooding. Are you ready, Italy?
Ma'am, she might be not sharing the screen, but she might be seeing it.
Canada, mute yourself. I'm talking to Italy right now. Italy, have you come to the solution part of the video? Once you're ready, let us know, and then you can share the screen. Yes, Brazil, you had to say something. You said after we come back from the video, I'd like to speak. Go ahead.
Can I say, ma'am? Ma'am, it's already 11:35. Will we finish the whole presentations of everyone?
Okay, so I said today is the UN Assembly Day. All right, you're not having any classes except for this.
Yeah, ma'am, I know that, but so
Till
many
one.
maximum peoples are left, and when
Till one,
we take,
till one. Brazil, we're going to go till 1 o'clock.
I know, ma'am, but I was telling that if we take questions, it will be too long. If everyone asks, then a debate.
No.
Ma'am, the debate should be very small.
All right, we'll do that.
Lots of debate.
Okay, okay. Thank you for your input. Yes, conclusion, yes.
Findings on just how vulnerable immediately funded the flood barrier which the bridge. The flood beneath, but can be lowered into the river. Around 700 kilometers of shoreline which needed to be protected with 700 kilometers of dikes. And so the key priority for the Delta Committee was to find a way to shorten these 700 kilometers to just 80 kilometers. They decided to do so by connecting the various islands to each other with dams. This meant fewer weak spots, reduced maintenance cost, and increased quality of flood defenses. The plan called for the construction of 4 dams where the water from the river could still flow into the North Sea, but the North Sea wouldn't be able to flow into the rivers, as well as several smaller dams further upstream which were needed to divert the flow of the river in such a way so that the water would flow into the sea instead of flooding the area behind the major dams. But as you may have noticed, the most southern inlet would not be dammed off. This was because this waterway led to the port of Antwerp. So the Dutch decided that damming one of the largest ports in Europe probably wasn't going to make them very popular, so they kept it as is. Damn Belgians always messing up infrastructure. But this wasn't the only accommodation made for the port of Antwerp. You see, ships travelled regularly between Amsterdam, Rotterdam and Antwerp, but this plan would make those waterways nearly inaccessible. So to maintain the level of trade, the Dutch decided to dig some extra canals to let the ships continue their business unhindered. And so the Dutch started building various dams simultaneously, starting with the smallest ones. The Delta Committee acknowledged that no plan like this had ever been attempted. They therefore advised to start with the smaller dams first in case of unforeseen consequences arising halfway through the building process. And while each dam was a little different, the dams did fall within 3 types of dams. The first type was the tried and tested method of using a gondola. This was the same method they used when building the Afsluitdijk I mentioned earlier. They would span a cable across the water, attach a large claw, and use that to drop rocks into the water until they reached all the way to the surface. Then they would pump sand onto the rocks until it was filled up completely. But this technique didn't work in places with a strong current, as the boulders wouldn't stay in place. So they developed a technique where they would place hollow concrete blocks into the water, keep them in place with a temporary wooden construction, and then fill the concrete blocks up with sand. Then they kept placing them next to each other until they had a dam. To keep them all in place, they poured sand and small stones on top of the concrete blocks until they had a proper dam. This was called the Phoenix caisson method. Okay, that sounds badass. Engineers are much better at naming things than historians are. After completing a few of those dams, they had effectively turned one of the deltas into a freshwater lake. This had the effect that the flora and fauna which had evolved to living in an environment with both fresh and salt water, was dying out. And the goal was to completely dam off this area, and the construction was nearing completion of this goal. But by the 70s, people started caring a lot more about the environment. And so local fisherfolk and environmentalists started protesting against this loss of flora and fauna. This reached all the way to Parliament when the radically progressive Christian Party, made up of mostly young people, threatened to leave the ruling coalition if the government wouldn't find a solution to these environmental problems.
Italy, stop
So the government
right now.
decided to throw a bunch of money at some engineers.
Share as well. Okay. So Italy, in conclusion, what happened to the Netherlands? Conclude it up. Come on. You are mute. Unmute yourself, Italy. Okay.
The flora and fauna, the people were protesting about it, so they created like a moving type of barrier. So so they would put pylons, and then they would put some blocks inside, and then it would move up. It would stay up when there was no storms or waves, when there was no flooding incoming. So, and then when there was a flood, they would keep it down.
Okay.
So that solved the problem.
Perfect. And that from Netherlands, you've taken an example and you've provided your solution, right? For Venice as well. So what do you think? Will Venice keep it the same one as Netherlands? Like whenever it's time for floods, you're going to put it down, and then when it is, when the time's not like, during the time when it doesn't flood, you're going to keep the barriers up?
And
Yes.
also the people they needed money. So when the Delta Committee told the people about the severeness, they donated immediately. So it worked.
Okay. So we know the problem, we have the solution. How many say aye?
Aye.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. United States doesn't want to participate. It's like you are getting flooded, that's your problem. Yes, US.
It's even with.
All right. Anyway, moving on. Let us, does anybody have anything else to contribute towards Italy?
No, ma'am.
How much will it cost?
How much will it cost? Russia wants to contribute. Come on. It's so unlike Russia, but go ahead.
It will cost around, I don't know how much it will cost. I didn't work that out
Just
yet.
quote the rate that you want to travel the world for. Come on. World tour wala bhag bata do. It's okay. Take the money and go.
Ma'am,
Yes. Canada.
ma'am, when was Italy made? Which year?
When was Venice built? Please tell her. She's been wanting to know. How many years has it been? Go ahead. Who will help you?
How many years?
Find out. Google, go. All right. Moving on to the next. Ilkay Mbaki. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Turkey. Go ahead. Woohoo! Brazil.
you said first
Turkey.
was girls,
Turkey
and you
hasn't
said
started
girl and
speaking
you
and
didn't
Brazil
finish
is
it.
scrapping.
And first you said all girls and you are a girl. You didn't finish.
Sorry?
You said first
She's
all
the secretary. She's the secretary.
I am the general secretary. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
Venice was built in 450 AD.
450 AD. Now Canada will not understand what AD is.
Marhaba, everybody. I would firstly I would like you all to stand for the national anthem.
Never.
I am not standing. Okay, but we'll stand. We'll listen to you. Come on, we'll stand. Come on. Go ahead. good to respect another country. Anyway, yes.
I would like to start this meeting with some sweetness. So I have a Turkish sweet dish named baklava. Would you like some?
Yes, yes, send it over.
Yes,
Please give it.
You can have a virtual
Come on, it looks yummy already.
Send some Turkish delight free. I don't eat sweet dish.
So these are some famous
Bad idea.
places.
I think you're
So
on a
these
diet.
these are some famous places in Turkey, and of course, don't forget Turkish Airlines, Europe's best airlines. So yeah. So we will discuss our problem. We have Turkey is surrounded by 3 continents. So
Turkey, you can sit and talk. I think you'll be comfortable that way.
we have 3 continents and 3 seas. So the first continent is Europe, and the sea with it is the Black Sea. And then we have Africa, where it is the Mediterranean Sea, and we have the Asia, where there is the Anatolian region. So we go to our problem. So this is the forest in which we are having our problems. This forest name is Turkish Montana Forest. The problem is biodiversity. Now, what do you mean by biodiversity? Biodiversity means that bio is related to wildlife, and animals, and plants. So the problem is that we have the problem that we have construction and climate change and the pollutions. And we have a great habitats because we have 3 continents and 3 seas. So we have a lot of species. But because of the climate change and global warming and the pollution, the species are dying. And the forest and the people are using the forest too much, like they are using the natural resources, which is the like you get the logs from the trees, so they are not using it in limit. They are over exploitation. That means that they are using it a lot, not in limit. So my solution to this is the Bern Convention on the Conservation. This is a company which saves the wildlife. So the Bern Convention was the first international treaty to save the animal species and the plants. So this company was the first international company. It was first to save the animals, species, and the plants. It does nature conservation, like it conserves the nature, like you can see the trees and deforestation. So they are helping not to deforestate or the pollution. Protecting endangered species. They protect endangered species like the leopards and the koalas, and wide coverage. They have a very big coverage, like they have the whole Europe, and then they have some countries in Africa, and they are defending human rights through nature conservation. So they are letting the humans also use the places, but they are conserving the nature also. So they are giving the space to nature also and the humans also. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So, one question, Turkey. Your solution was the Bern Conservation Company,
Convention
right?
on the conservation.
Convention. All right. Sorry, my bad. Okay, I wasn't paying attention. Okay. Now, no, I clearly was, and I heard every word that you said. So, what about Bern? Like, what are we supposed to do as whole country?
You could it's a world problem. The global warming is the world problem and the climate change. So you could also prevent. So you could put the factories of chimneys. You could put it higher, and then you could not do wastage, and you could like use cycles.
We can
No,
also
my question
contribute
was,
different.
what do you want us as United Nation or as the world countries? Your solution was burn, right?
Yeah.
What do you want us to do with regard to that?
So it was that I was asking you all if you would like to, like, if you had a better option from this.
Oh, okay. All right. India.
Understand?
Yeah, I know you are known for cows, but stop chewing onto the grass. All right. Yes, who would? Okay, I'll take
I
three
didn't understand
comments. Canada did not understand. Okay, so Turkey, how about you sum up your presentation in one line?
I didn't understand the solution.
Okay, Canada did not understand the solution. Could you help
The
her?
Bern Convention on the Conservation. It is a company which works for the nature. So it saves the endangered species.
So Turkey already has Turkey already knows of an international convention company that conserves the endangered species. So Turkey is asking that should we really support burn for the good work that they are doing, or we have any other better solution? Great Britain.
Okay. First of all, Valla. And
Yes.
and I like the PPT a lot, and the solution is really good about the company, but I think the problem is cutting trees, right? We can do Great Britain can give it's a really rich country, so it can give some money and they can do stop cutting trees and make brick houses. So that's one solution.
Recycle paper.
Ma'am, can I say something?
Yeah, ma'am. So I would like to tell you that you all can do something like you could educate everyone with this knowledge, and you could aware them that this is a very severe thing because it's globally like it's everyone is facing that.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Yes, Russia.
ma'am, it's Turkey's problem. Turkey is cutting trees, so Turkey is only responsible for it.
Russia, aren't you being very distant in this UN assembly now?
Ma'am, I'm telling
Ma'am,
that
actually Russian people are really rude, ma'am.
Turkey is asking us for a solution, okay? Turkey already has a solution. Turkey
Yes,
definitely has a problem. But the problem that Turkey is trying to focus on is global warming and climate change, right? Which the entire world is facing. Even you, Russia.
and ma'am, and we should put a fine on cutting trees.
Okay, place a fine on cutting tree. All right, we'll stop here. And how about we go for a 5-minute break, short 5-minute break, and we'll resume back.
Ma'am, I want to tell you something.
So we'll start with the boys, okay? After this 5-minute break. Go
Ma'am,
ahead.
can I say?
Ma'am, please, ma'am, I want to tell something.
Go ahead. Bye-bye.